Hello guys, good evening to all. How are you all guys? Okay. Am I audible guys? My screen is visible. Hello everyone. How are you all? Okay. So without wasting any time, let us just do one thing. Let's just start today's session. I'll be just going to click on the local host that I'll be just going that I'm basically connected with. And after that, today we'll be going to create a new schema over here. So for creating a new schema, what you can basically do, you can just right click over here and create a schema. Let's just say today is basically your day 3. So I'll be just simply going to write day 3 and I'll be just going to click on apply. Otherwise, what you can do, you can just use this code also for creating the schema, and let us just execute it. So I have successfully executed it. After that, what we'll be basically going to do is, this is my day 3. So over there I'll be just going to create some tables and some data. I'll be just going to, this is zoom. Okay, over here now I think it is zoomed. You'll be clearly able to see it. Here I basically cannot zoom, but here I can use the code part. Okay, and one more thing guys, if you have joined this session, what you can do, you can basically join it from the laptop also, so that will be good for all of you. Now what we'll be going to do today, we'll be just going to learn by what is this your where query, what is basically joints in SQL. So quickly we'll be just going to cover each and everything in today's session. So first thing that we'll be going to do over here is, we'll be simply going to create a table first of all. So it is already increased, just see. Is it not increased one? Because I'm clearly able to see in my another this thing. Is it good or not, guys? Okay, really sorry. Just give me 1 second. Let me just increase the voice also. Now just tell me guys, is it good now? Are you guys clearly able to hear me? Is the font size okay? Okay. So first we'll be going to create a table, and let me just write my schema over here. So that is day 3. Schema you can consider, or collection you can consider. And after that I'll be simply going to execute this one. Okay, so this is like simply got executed. Now what I'll be just going to do, I'll be just going to click on the first, I'll be just going to refresh it, and after that table I'll be just going to click. So this is my employee table over here that you will be basically able to see guys. So right now it is basically null. So what I'll be going to do, I'll be simply going to insert some data in it. So what I'll be just going to do, yeah, okay, so I'll be simply going to insert some data in it. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so this is basically the data that I'll be going to insert in it. This is just a table. We have seen that what is your basically these things, the values that we'll be going to enter over here, right? So these are the values that is basically going to be in this format. So first let us just execute it, and after that we'll be going to look into our code. Now let's just call this table. Okay, so just see, this is basically my data for now. That is John Doe. These are basically the name. The department is HR. Salary is this thing. Date is basically like this. All right. With respect to other things like finance is there, IT is there, marketing is there, finance is again there. And these are basically the salary and the hire date that the employee is basically hired. And this is basically your employee ID. All right. So now what I basically have to do over here, guys, what if, let us just say, if my manager will basically going to ask me that I basically have to show the data. Okay, so it will be sort by last name in ascending order if I have to sort it. So what I'll be going to do, I'll be simply going to do select star from which database. Let's just say day 1 dot employees, like this thing, and after that I'll be just going to write order by, I can basically say last name, and it will be going to by ASC. Okay, now sorry, day 3. Okay, yes, you can even practice in the this thing. I'll be just going to share with you, don't worry. Okay, so now just see, it is basically showing me the data over here. What I have basically did over here is I have did select star from day 3 dot employees order by last name ASC. Okay, so you will be able to see that it is in basically ascending order, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So we have basically sorted this thing. Okay, now similarly, if I have to sort it by the salary, so what I have to do is just in place of the last name, I'll be just simply going to write salary over here. Okay, so just see this thing. First 60,000, then 68,000, then 72,000, then 75,000, then 80,000. ASC is basically ascending. Okay, this is basically nothing but the ascending. So just see this thing. I'll be going to share this thing with all of you. First, create a table in the chat if you guys basically want to do this thing. Just give me 1 second, guys. Let me just open comment section over here. Okay. All right. So this is basically how you will be going to create a table that I have basically sent you the query in the chat if you guys basically want to practice it. And this is the data that you will be going to insert over here. Okay. There's a limitation of this thing, chat, guys. Just give me 1 second. Okay, just do one thing. Yeah, I think there's a limitation in the chat, so I'll be not able to send that thing. So, but it's okay. I'll be going to share each and everything, this data with all of you, so you'll be able to practice it. Don't worry about it. All right. Now, let us just say now what I have to do. This is like with respect to the one column only we was playing. But what if I basically have to play with multiple columns? Okay, let's just say salary is basically there, that is ascending, but right now I want to do it descending order. In the descending order, that means the largest value will be there. Yes, descending I'll be just going to do over here with respect to one column, and I'll be just going to mention one more column also, that is going to be my department. And department I'll be just going to assign it as ASC. That is ascending. Department should be ascending and salary should be descending. And if I'll be just going to click it, just see department is like FFHIT, right? And the salary is in descending order. That means the greater value will be on the top, then after that lower values will be there. Okay, first if I basically did this thing, so what it has basically did that we have sorted the department in ascending order and then by salary in descending order. This is like the meaning of it. Guys, am I not audible properly? Can I get a confirmation? Guys, am I not audible? Okay. Now, in place of this, what I'll be going to do, let us just say I have hire date. Okay. hire date is basically there. So hire date, what I'll be going to do, I'll be going to append it in the ascending way. So just see this thing. First employee was able to join it. Okay. But first, what basically I'm here is doing that hire date is 2012 and 9, then 17. Okay. Then I have basically this thing. Okay. Now, after that, what we'll be basically going to do, if we have did it on the higher date, that is the ascending one, it is basically going to show us like this. Okay. Group by, what group by basically used to do, it group by the whole data. Like it will be going to sort one value. Let us just say it will be going to sort the higher date, right? But it will go, we are basically using group by. If you will be going to use group by, it will basically consider whole data and it will manage it accordingly. Sorry, order by. Group by basically is in Python. Okay. So order by is basically there, right? Similarly, if you basically want same things, you can basically do with respect to multiple things. Let us just say last name and first name, both you can basically consider. Okay. Both you can basically consider over here. So that is basically your order by, and that is basically how you can sort your data set in ascending or in descending. Group by is basically nothing. Group by, just see, if I'll be going to let us just say if I'm basically doing any kind of a code and I only basically want to look into higher date, so at that time I'll be just going to assign it a value, maybe ascending or maybe a descending order. So it will only going to show me that particular column. But if I want to filter out the values, if I basically want to filter the values with respect to all the present rows in my data set, at that time I'll be going to use order by. Okay. Group by basically is in Python. Group by, order by, both are same if I like compare it with respect to SQL and Python. Okay. Now, let us just say if I basically want to create, this is basically my table that I basically have over here, that is employees. Now, what I basically have to do over here is I basically want to work with where query. Okay, what is this where query? Let's just try to understand. So what I'll be going to do, this thing is going to be same, that is select star from day 3 dot employees, order by higher date ascending. So we'll be just going to change this one. Okay, we'll be basically same example I have given you over here, Ayushman. Over here, if I'm showing you this query, this is an example only. Okay, now day 3 dot employees. Now I'll be going to use where. Okay, I just want to look the department. Let us just say finance is getting repeated 2 times. So I'll be just going to look into where department is equal to, okay, is equal to finance. All right, so it will going to show me only the finance one, where employee ID is 2, employee ID is 5, Jane and Anna is basically there, the department is finance, the salary is this much, the hiring date is this much. All right. Now, after that, now let us just say, okay, let us just look into the all data. Okay, if you will be going to do this thing, you will be able to look into the all data. So this is my all data. Now let us just say what I basically have to do over here is, like, there are people who have 60,000 salary. Okay, group by, I'm basically telling you what it does is that if you want to filter out the whole data set, all right, with respect to, if you, let us just say you have salary, right? Now you want to first see the employee who is having the highest salary. Okay, I first want to see the person who basically have the highest salary. Then after that, a person who is having second highest salary, then third, then lowest. Like this, I basically want. So if I want to filter out this thing, And with respect to salary, I want to look into other column also. All the columns I am interested in, but my main motive is that I should arrange the salary in ascending or in descending order. So at that time we use group by, where we'll be going to group by, like we'll be just going to consider the whole table as a group. Okay, we'll be going to consider it as a whole group, and we'll be just going to sort it. This is what we'll be going to do. Understood now, guys? Or still you have any kind of question? Yes, Sagar, you can apply key to a table in the SQL. Okay. Key can be primary key can be your basically foreign key can be basically your unique key also. We'll be going to learn these things one by one. Don't worry. Okay. Now let's just cover. We basically have a lot of things to cover, guys. I don't. Where we'll be just going to use. Don't worry. Right now I'll be going to show you where. Let us just say where, if you basically want to understand where. So over here, what I'll be just going to do, select star from day 3 dot employees. Now I want to consider where salary is greater than 70,000. So at that time, I'll be going to use where like you are adding a condition, like a if and else, where salary is greater than 70,000. Okay, where, sorry. Okay, where salary is greater than 70,000. So just see, employee 234, people who have employee ID 234, they have salary greater than 70,000. Now let us just say the same thing I have to do, but with respect to hire date. Now how I'll be going to consider hire date? Because it was in a string when we have like mentioned the data set. So simply nothing, you just have to add it in a string only in the same format. So people who was hired after this date, so that is like this. Now same less than this, so these are those people. All right, now tell me guys what I'll be going to do if I have to search for one thing. Let's just remove this one. This is my whole data. Now I basically want to search where last name is Doe. So how I'll be going to write this query? I want to search where the last name is Doe, or let's just say Smith. Yes, it is like a condition only that you are writing over here. Because if you are adding a condition, it will be going to filter out other values, right? Now just guys tell me, I want to find where the last name is Doe or Smith. Anything. Okay. Okay. Hopeless is basically saying what we have to do. Where I can basically say last name is equal to Smith. Okay, tell me why. Okay, right. Now, what I basically have to do over here, I basically want to add one more condition over here, guys. Let's just say I want to do the last name can be Smith, or the last name can be Doe also. So how I'll be going to do it? Like the last name can be Smith, last name can be Doe also. So it is very simple. You just have to write or over here. And so just see, it is giving me 2 records. All right. Now, what I basically have to do is, now I basically want to find out people who have salary between 65,000 to 75,000. Now tell me how I'll be able to do it. Now, and we'll be going to use right now. Aryuna, I want to find out where salary is between 65,000 and 75,000. What I'll be going to do? All right. What do you think? Will this going to work or not? Is it right? Is it right or not, guys? What do you think? Will it going to work or not? Okay. So let's just run it. So yes, just see. Salary is between 65,000 and 75,000. So what do you think? Is it showing right result? Jay, what it? Yes, it is showing right result, guys. Now let us just do one thing. Let us just create another table now. That is going to be your product, where we have product ID, column name, product name is basically there, category is there, price is there, and stock quantity is there. So I'll be simply going to run it, and we have like successfully created the table, and some records I'll be just going to insert into it. These are the records that I'm basically inserting over here. All right. Now, so let's just refresh it first of all, and let's just look into the table. Now just see, this is basically my table. Now what I basically have to do is, guys, I want to do 2 things over here. Okay, 2 things over here. I want to do that the category that I'm looking for, that should be furniture, and price should be less than 200. So how my query will going to look like? Tell me, guys. I want the category to be in furniture and price should be less than 200. First tell me which record it will return me. What do you think? Just look into the table and tell me which record it will return. Come on, guys, quickly. Fifth. Okay, fifth. Aruna saying fifth. Okay. All. Okay, so let's just see this thing. I'll be just going to write where where I can basically say category is going to be furniture and price should be less than 200. So just see. Third one, desk chair and the price was 150. Why it has not returned me this one? Why it has not returned me this, where product ID is 5? Because it was exactly 200. The price was 200. But we have mentioned the price should be less than 200. I haven't mentioned the price should be equal to or less than 200. I have mentioned the price should be less than 200. Okay. Now, let's just say I have this employees table. So I'll be just going to do one thing over here. I'll be just going to drop this particular table. Okay. I'll be just going to create one more table over here that will going to be as the same only employee. And right now we'll be going to learn what is this distinct. What is this distinct? Can anyone tell me what is distinct in the chat? What do you think, guys? What distinct used to do? What distinct do? Remove duplicates. But why do we need it in real life? Tell me. Obviously, it is right. You guys are right. Absolutely right. Distinct will going to remove all the duplicates. Okay. It will going to remove all the duplicates. Just see. Now it is returning only the unique one. But if I just show you, this is like, this is my data frame. It basically have total 7 records. But if you'll be just going to use, see the unique departments. So this is how you have to do. Select distinct department. Over here, we are selecting the distinct departments from which table. Previously, what we was doing, we was using select star from employees. That means we was considering whole data at that time. But whenever we are using distinct, what we have to do, we have to write our query in such a way that before from, we have to write distinct. Okay. Now, similarly, in place of department, I'll be just going to do the same thing with salary. So this is the unique salary: 60,000, 75,000, 80,000, 72, 66, 70. All right. Now, let's just do one thing. Yes, obviously. Let's just say using distinct and all is just for your analysis. And you can like export this data and you can send it to your manager also. But this is just for your analysis, so you will be able to get a clear understanding of data. Because learning database or learning data science is not just storing a data, fetching a data and all. You have to understand the data set also at that time. Without understanding the data set, there is no point of learning database and all. So now I'll be just going to create one more table that is going to be order. Okay. So we have basically created a table, and after that what we'll be going to do, we'll be going to insert some records in it. Now if I just refresh it, so this is how my order tables look like that we have just created. So what I basically have to do for now, guys, is I basically want to look into, let us just say, distinct dates over here. Date is basically there. So what I'll be going to use, I'll be just simply going to use, just 1 second. I'll be simply going to use from orders, and this is going to be your, what is my column name, order date. Why it is not working, guys? What do you think? Why this query is not executing? What is the problem over here? Come on, guys, quickly tell me why it is not working. Yes, right. Darshana, right? Day 3. Okay. So now it is basically showing me the unique records over here, the distinct order dates only. All right. Now, what I have to do, I basically have an employee table also. So let us just do one thing. Employee table that we have. So try to work with this one. So what I'll be going to use, there is something called as AS. What is basically this thing? What is as, guys? Yeah, right. Now, so it will be like this. So let's just run it, then we'll be going to understand it. So first you just do one thing, like this is basically your this one, and come over here. Let's just look into employee also. Okay, this is how your employee table look like. That is employee ID, first name, last name, department, salary, and hire date. But when we have did this thing, so we have just rename the values just for our clear understanding, right? Nickname, we are just giving it a nickname over here. Yes, right. So that is what as is basically doing over here. Similarly, with some other examples, department and annual salary, I can basically write my name also over here. Anything you can basically write. From, if you are writing something and if you are getting a better understanding as compared to the previous one, let us just say previously name was really big and you was basically having some problem while understanding it, or the column name was really big, so you, what you have did it for your better understanding, you have just simply renamed it, nothing else. All right. Now, what is the difference between, what do you think guys? Now we'll be basically going to learn about and or not. What do you think what and or not is? Because this is like a simple statement only over here. Can anyone differentiate between and or not? Can I use and two times or three times in the same query? What do you think? Can I use and two to three times in same query or not? Or we can use it just one time? Can I use and more than two times? Yes or no? Or one time? Manish Kumar is saying no. Ayushman is saying yes. Yes. Okay. So this is basically my this thing. So what I have written over here, select dot from day 3 dot employees where department is equal to IT and salary is between 7,000 and 70,000 and 80,000, and let's just execute it. So yes, we can use and more than one or two times or anything. Okay. Now what if I have to write where department, okay, is equal to IT? Similarly, you can do over here department is equal to ID, and what we can and now we are using, now we can use or over here. That now what data it will going to show me, that if department is equal to IT, then it will going to show me, look, two records I have for the department IT, and it will also going to show me the data where salary is between 70,000 to 80,000. Okay. Same thing I'll be going to do over here. Department can be ID, department can be IT, or department can be finance. Just see. So it is now giving me only finance and IT department. Clear till now, guys? Now let us just look into the order table over here. This is basically my order table. Now what I'll be going to do, I'll be just going to add one thing where customer ID should not be 105 and customer ID should not be 106. Two things I'll be going to filter out over here. So it will going to look like this. Where not customer ID is equal to 105 and not customer ID is equal to 106. So just see the order customer ID that you will be able to see 105 and 106 is not present here. All right. It is basically not present over here. Now, have you guys ever heard about concat? What is concat? Have you guys heard about what is concat? Let's just look into the employee's ID. We have salary, hire date and all. Okay, let's just make some changes in it. Let's just create new table. So for that, let's just drop this one first of all. And a new table we'll be simply going to create. Where why I have basically did it because we'll be going to mention email ID over here also. We'll be going to work with email ID. So that's why we are like dropping it and we are like creating a new table. All of these queries we have already seen yesterday. So that's why I'm basically not repeating it. Yes. But why we use concat, guys? What do you think? For joining, okay. Can anyone give me a scenario over here? A real life scenario that why concat is basically important. Okay, first name, last name. Like the same example I can basically give you right now. Let's just say first name and last name is in two columns. But what if you want to look in one column only? Just see. Now we have created a full column by using as, and I have did select concat first name then space. What if I'll be not going to use this space? Just see. Now will you be able to understand the name that is over here? Not right. So that's why we need a space between first name and last name. So I have mentioned select concat first name last name as full name from day3.employees. And if I'll be just going to run it, it will going to look like this. Are you guys aware about what is upper? What is upper? What do this upper do, guys? Can anyone tell me what is this upper? Upper or lower? Upper or lower? What is upper and lower? Okay. All right. So just see this thing. I have mentioned over here first name upper. That means first name that we have like converted it into uppercase. But same thing if I have to convert it into lowercase. So I just have to write lower over here. Just see the difference. Okay. Now upper. So it will look like this. If you basically want to do something, if you basically want to play with it, you can even play with other more like other columns also. Let's just say email ID you basically want to consider in small letters only. So what you can basically do, you can simply write select upper department as department upper. That means this is my column name, that is department upper, and all the department will be presented in a uppercase. Then after that lower email id that I have, I am just lowering lowercase as email lower, just a column name I have basically given over here from day3.employees. Yes, right. Big and small alphabets. Upper is like make capitalize, lower make it small words. Completely right, guys. Okay. So this is what it basically used to do. The concatenation we have basically seen. Upper, like we have basically seen what is this your upper and all. Now, what is the next thing that we'll be going to learn about? We'll be going to learn about this thing. Have you guys ever heard about it? What are these things, guys? You all, if you guys are even not aware about it, so by the name you will be able to understand it. Round, average, sum, max, minimum. What is round? Can anyone give me an example of round? Can anyone give me an example of round? Aggregation function, right? But what does this round do? Give me one example, guys. What does this round do? Yes, completely right. So 23.4, it will be equal to 23. What if it will be 23.6? What if it will be 23.6? Okay, right. Now, so what we'll be going to do, we'll be going to do select employee ID, first name, last name, round salary, comma -3 and round salary from day 3 dot employees. Okay. Okay. Just 1 second. I basically have to let us just see one new schema we'll be going to create over here because employee table is already present over here. So let us just say what we'll be going to do. We'll be going to do day 3 1. All right. Now this is this thing that we have. So let us just do one thing. First, let us just create a table over here in this schema. And after that, we'll be just going to store it. And now we'll be going to run that particular query. Okay, now it is showing. So what we have basically did is according to the last these 3 we have rounded it, but what if I'll be just going to consider last 2 again? All right, so 3 will be basically going to consider over here. So this is basically how basically your round work over here. Okay, any kind of a confusion till now, guys? Basically -3 is what, let us just say if I'll be just have mentioned -3, so it consider basically round to the nearest thousand, the last 3 these things. If I'll be basically going to mention 2, so it will be like round near the 100. If I'll be going to mention -1, that means round near 10. If I'll be going to mention round, let's just say if I'll be going to mention 0. Okay, so what is the meaning of it? That near the integer, if it is in decimal. But what if I'll be going to mention 2? So it will be in 2 decimal. Just see. If I'll be going to mention 1, so it will be a float. Like this. -1 represent near 10, that you have to round off in near 10. -2 basically represent that you have to near in 100. -3 basically represent that you have to nearest it. You basically have to round to the nearest 1000. Got it? Now Similarly, let us just look for the average one over here. That is going to be day 3. So this is how you will be going to find the average of salary. That if I just consider one company, and if I'll be just going to sum all the salary of each and every employee, so I can basically say every employee used to get this much of average salary. And if I basically have to find out one thing, that what is the total salary that a company is paying to all the employees, so I'll be just going to use sum at that time. Okay, so this will be somewhere around this thing. Okay, this much of salary a company is paying to all of its employees, that is the sum. Got it, guys? Now if I basically have to find the maximum salary, what is the maximum salary? So that is 80,000. So how I did it? By using just max in front of it. Similarly, the same thing you can do with respect to minimum and all. Got it? So guys, do you have any kind of a confusion till now? Yes, min for minimum, max for maximum, and average for AVG for average. All right, guys. All the things that we have seen over here, creating table and all the notes I'll be going to share with all of you. In the one link after the session, you'll be able to find it out in the one link. So from there, you can basically get this query and all for your practice purpose. All right, guys. So I can basically say, yeah. So I can basically say this is it for today's session. Okay. I hope you guys have enjoyed the session. Have you guys enjoyed the session? Have you guys enjoyed the session, guys? All right, cool then. So guys, this is it for today's session then. Bye bye each and everyone. Good night, guys. Take care. Bye.